But Jake, I thought you loved Audi. I thought it was your favorite car brand. Well, it is, but just like your favorite child, you're going to be more disappointed if they mess up. Now, first, let me say, I do not know if there is anything wrong with my car. However, it sure seems like there's something wrong with my car. Let me give you a quick introduction here. I leased a 2021 A4 last year in April. And around June, I started noticing there was a problem coming from the engine. I would hear this and I would lose acceleration for a second or two. And it was always in 7th gear around 1400 RPM at low load. Since then, it has gotten much, much, much worse. It does it all the way down in 3rd gear now. It's only done it a couple times, so I don't know what RPM it was at. But it's usually at, I think it's always at low load. And when I start to accelerate, it makes this horrible grinding sound. But when I went to the dealership, they checked it out and they said that it was a detonation issue. It popped up with a drive system error and eventually a check engine light. It's been into the dealership a handful of times, and they haven't been able to do anything about it. But before we look at the service records, I have them pulled up right here. I want to give you a little bit of background on why I'm even qualified to try to analyze this problem. I have a degree in mechanical engineering. I have worked for the Air Force in jet engine sustainment, which included a lot of failure analysis. Then I worked for an aerospace company, and I did failure analysis and maintenance program development or maintenance plan development. And then I moved to another aerospace company where I am testing hardware for aircraft. I have done a lot of teaching myself electronics, and I'm basically just YouTube educated on how cars work. I know a lot more than the average person, but probably not more than the average car guy. Anyway, that's my background, so I understand the theory of how cars work very well, but specific cars, it's all going to be different, and I don't know as much about that. So let's go ahead and look at the service reports. Now, I'm going to blur any identifying information on these reports, and just to be respectful of the people that work at this dealership, I will say that this should not reflect poorly on anyone at the dealership whatsoever. I have had nothing but good experiences with the people at this dealership. They always take care of me very, very well, and in my opinion, they all deserve raises. That being said, let's look at the first page. Right here, it's just showing that I bought the car and took possession of it, and they gave it to me. I'm not going to show scrolling between pages, so I don't have to move the blur mask every time. But so the 11th of June, so it was June. Looks like they had it for a little over an hour. Customer states when driving highway speeds, there's a metallic clicking noise from the drive tunnel area. Perform clutch adaptation and reset basic settings. That was all they could do. One of the errors I forgot to mention was the drive system error. When they read it off, it said it was a fuel quality problem. So just keep that in mind. During the test drive, found vehicle to be making metallic clicking noise when downshifting from 7th to 6th gear around 60 miles per hour. See, they even thought that it was related to the downshifting. Perform basic setting for both the transmission, clutch, gear spacing, blah, blah, blah. Checked SVM configuration. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not going to read all of this. If you want to read it, pause the video. So, real quick, if you're as curious as I am and you're enjoying this so far, Please drop a like. It would really help me out. I really appreciate it. Anyway, let's get back to it. Basically, they reset the stuff. If the complaint reappears or worsens, contact advisor to schedule a more extensive diagnostic. Okay, June 29th. Same problem. Drive system malfunction on dash. That's when the first error popped up. So it took a couple weeks for it to pop up. Verified concern, found check engine light. Upon starting vehicle to pull it into the shop, noticed vehicle has a noticeable knock from the engine. Shut off the vehicle, and with another technician's assistance, pushed vehicle into shop to avoid further engine damage. Okay, so I actually haven't read all this. I didn't even realize that they had already suspected engine damage, or suspected that there might be engine damage as early as last year. Found fuel quality poor. Fuel in vehicle is below Audi minimum specifications of 91 octane. Let's pause there. That is very interesting because I have never put anything other than 91 octane 100% gas that is recommended by Audi. It is the top tier or top fuel detergent gasoline. It's sold at On Q near my house. Like, it has only had the fuel recommended by Audi. Obviously, I can't prove that to you right now, but in future videos, I'm going to record me filling up the tank and the problem continuing. So I can at least demonstrate that it happens when I do put the correct fuel in there. I'm also planning on getting the fuel that I get at the gas station tested to make sure that there isn't a bigger problem with gasoline. But no other car I've been in and none of my friends have had this issue ever. So something tells me it's not the gas, but covering our bases here. Okay, it said provided customer with repair quote. What they told me was they could take the fuel system apart and basically take out the gas tank, inspect it. But they said Audi wouldn't pay for it since, according to them, the fuel was of poor quality. So they wouldn't cover it. So I was like, I knew I put 9100% in it. So I was like, yeah, no, I'm not going to pay for that. Like, it's a lease too. So like, this is not my problem. Engine failure is likely if the vehicle is continued to be run on fuel that does not meet Audi recommendations. Oh wow, I didn't see this. Repairs to the engine resulting from the incorrect fuel being used after this repair visit will be the customer's responsibility. Hell no, it won't. I have put 91 octane in it, 100% gasoline every single time. Okay, December 28th, 2021. Took it in for the 10,000 mile maintenance. Blah, blah, blah. That was all just standard. 24 May 2022. Customer states drive system malfunction coming on dash. And blah, blah, blah. Customer states noise when driving at highway speeds and accelerating. Yeah, so when around the beginning of when I was taking it in, it wasn't happening as often. Rainy day, not the best for test drive, but could try another day. Yeah, it was less common when it first started, and this is actually almost a year after I brought it in the first time. Okay, again, 21 June 22. States to have a noise when driving on highway. 600, okay, that's probably a code. Only fueling at top tier fuel. TAC advised only fueling with top tier stations and to add G17 to fuel tank. I think that's a fuel additive that they have at the dealership. Oh, okay, so they did tell me that they dropped the fuel tank and inspected it. So they removed the fuel pump to inspect the fuel tank, clear fuel with no contaminants, fuel pump sock also in good condition, indicating no previous issues, started TAC case, and was advised to inform customer of top tier fueling stations and to add G17. Again, I think that's like some kind of additive. Otherwise, vehicle model has no trend nationwide of a problem, and without further DTCs indicating another failure, there is nothing else creating a problem outside of fuel contamination. Customer states car has choked a few times. When it did, this car wouldn't go over 6th gear. That is true, and it actually has not gone over 5th gear since I have taken it in this time. So there is a serious issue going on. Oh, it says, okay, yeah, 5th gear. Added fuel additive to system. Yeah, so that's the history of me taking it into the dealership. Audi has also said that the dealership has also said that they contacted Audi corporate and that they will have to release a software update to address this. Now, that kind of goes against them insisting that it is fuel quality. Yeah, let me see if I can find the email. Oh, another interesting thing, when they did have my car for a while, they gave me a loaner, a 2022 A5. It had the same problem, which to an outside observer might sound like, oh, well then, yeah, you're putting bad fuel in it because you're having the same problem with multiple cars, which makes sense. I understand why you would draw that conclusion. But it happened with the gas that was in it when they gave it to me. Either they have bad gas too, or there's a problem with these engines. Okay, so here, one of the personnel at the dealership says, I've been driving it and feel what you're describing. I have sent your logs to my technical field rep for review. What is weird is the check engine light is not on and it has no code still, which is true. It will have these detonation issues sometimes for quite a while before the engine light will turn on. Sometimes a couple months, and it's been doing it recently. I've been trying to drive it as little as possible because I don't want to damage it, but sometimes my wife has the other car and I got to get somewhere, but yeah, sometimes the engine light won't come on. All right, here's another thing. I've been going back and forth with my technical field rep, and he has found 13 cases of the exact issue around the southern region. He is telling me, at this point we are waiting for a software update to correct the concern. They feel it is a timing over advanced issue at low RPM. We have been driving the car and it is driving good currently without any engine lights. I will drive it some more today and let you know how it does. Here is a screenshot or a picture of me filling the tank, or a picture of the pump where I was filling the tank. Obviously you can't see me filling the tank with this gas. So again, Audi has notified me to release your vehicle with the fuel additive installed. You will be notified when the software update is available. So very clearly, they're working on a software update. When was this? July 27th? Okay, so this was after all of these service records. I haven't taken it back because there's obviously nothing they can do until the software update comes out. Yeah, so they're obviously, and when I say they, I'm talking about Audi AG, not the dealership. They obviously know it needs a software update. 13 other cars in the region have this problem, and since this email, I was told that there are 6 other cars at the dealership with this problem. So there's probably more than 13 by now, unless everybody is just putting bad gas in their car, which I don't know much about fuel processing and distribution, but my statistics and probability senses are tingling that that's incredibly unlikely. Yeah, so this is just all been incredibly frustrating. I have started the process as of yesterday to initiate a buyback of this car. I think it is. I've read the Oklahoma lemon law 2 or 3 times, and this very clearly qualifies. I mean, they literally told me they're waiting on a software update, and they obviously think that this could damage the engine. So I don't know. What's the plan moving ahead? I'm going to drive until this tank is empty, fill it up, record myself filling it up with 91 octane, 100% gas, at a top tier, at a station that has top tier fuel, and then get some recordings of it having this detonation problem. And I'll probably only put a couple gallons in it. That way I can run it out sooner, and then I will go get 93 octane. I will drive it, capture the detonation issue that it has with 93 octane. I will also collect samples of both fuel sources. When I get the gas, I'll collect a sample for it, or from it, and get it tested. That way it eliminates anything I'm doing as a problem. I don't feel like I need to do that, since they clearly have other issues with other cars, other places, and they're working on a software update to fix it, supposedly. That was quite a while ago. So I don't feel like at this point I need to establish that I'm not doing anything incorrectly, but just going to cover our bases. If you're as curious about this as I am, go ahead and hit subscribe. It would really help me out, and you'll be able to follow me on this investigation as I try to figure out what is going on, and basically prove that I am not responsible for anything going wrong with this car. Yeah, there's a gas station like half a mile from my house on cue, and they have the little top tier gas thing, and that's like the only gas station I fill it up at. Well, there's one next to my work that's also an on cue with the same thing. So I've only driven it around town, so I haven't ever had a need to go to another gas station. I did take it to a gas station called RS Fuel, I think, and I used 93 octane on the recommendation of one of the service advisors. And it didn't seem like it helped much. I still had the same problem. I wasn't really sure if it happened less often, but I definitely still had the problem. So it doesn't seem like it's the octane. I have got like a quarter of a tank left in the car right now. I'm going to try to drive only this car until it is as close to empty as I can get it. And then I will video me fueling it up with top tier gasoline, 91 octane, 100%, no ethanol, and then we'll go for a little drive, and we will watch the failure happen. If it doesn't happen, that will be very strange. So obviously I really wish this wasn't happening. Other than this one thing, I absolutely love the car. It is super fun to drive. I think Audi has the best design language of any car I've seen. It's disappointing. It really sucks. Yeah. I just feel like if you spend that much money on a car, it's kind of stupid not to take care of it and to give it the fuel that it needs. Because you might as well just not buy it if you're going to do that. So, yeah, I don't know.